Throughout the United States, you'll find many wonderful museums, documenting everything from history to art to sports to professions and so much more. Large and small, these museums tell the stories of people, places, communities, nature, animals, and more from centuries past all the way through to current events. In this video, we will show you Top 10 Museums in the United States. Number 10. Boston Tea Party Ships and Museum, Boston. The Boston Tea Party Ships and Museum, on the waterfront in Boston, allows tourists to not only see where the tea was thrown into the harbor almost 250 years ago, but also to take on the role of someone who witnessed the historical event. The 1-hour program begins in the meeting house, where each participant is issued a feather and assigned a character from the original tea party. The tour is quite immersive and will easily transport you back to one of the most talked about events of American history. It has an original crate from 1773 and retrievable replicas for young patriots to throw overboard into the harbor. From there, folks can enjoy the rest of the museum, as well as the gift shop and Abigail's tea room and terrace for light food and beverages. Number 9. National Museum of Natural History, Washington, D.C. As part of the Smithsonian Museums in Washington, D.C., the National Museum of Natural History boasts a unique and timeless collection of artifacts. It is said that they have an astonishing accumulation of more than 145 million different items. Located in the National Mall, there's more than enough to see at this museum. Its Beaux-Arts design gives it one of the city's most elegant museum interiors, an elegance it maintains despite the presence of an 11-ton elephant in its rotunda. It's also home to the famous Hope Diamond, as well as hundreds of different butterfly species. The museum is completely free, so go ahead and spend hours getting lost in all the historical gems. Number 8. United States Holocaust Memorial Museum, Washington, D.C. At the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum in Washington, D.C., visitors can experience a narrative and haunting history of the Holocaust that took the lives of approximately 6 million European Jews and at least 5 million prisoners of war. Exhibits include historical artifacts, photographs, video footage, and personal accounts from both victims and survivors. It also includes an exhibit that looks at Americans' responses to Nazism, war, and genocide, plus an exhibit that shares the experiences of Americans who saw first-hand evidence of Nazi atrocities. This is a heartbreaking but necessary step back in history that everyone should see. Number 7. Bishop Museum, Honolulu, Hawaii. In Honolulu, the Bishop Museum honors Hawaii's culture and heritage through more than 25 million historical, cultural, and natural artifacts. Items are displayed in permanent and temporary exhibits such as Taxonomy, Our Lives Depend on It, which looks at how the identification and naming of plants and animals affect our day-to-day lives. Be sure to check out the museum's outdoor murals, which bring together traditional culture, creative expression, and indigenous perspectives. Number 6. Booth Western Art Museum, Cartersville, Georgia. In association with the Smithsonian Institution, the Booth Western Art Museum in Cartersville showcases the largest permanent exhibit for Western American art in the country. Paintings, sculptures, photographs, and more document the people and places that lived in the West. In the Frank Harding Cowboy Gallery, all cowboys, including Black, Caucasian, Hispanic, and Asian, are honored in a variety of artwork. A notable gallery is the Carolyn and James Miller Presidential Gallery, which features a one-page, signed letter from every U.S. president. There's even an interactive gallery, Sagebrush Ranch, geared to children between the ages of 2 and 12. Number 5. Musical Instrument Museum, Phoenix, Arizona. With more than 8,000 instruments from more than 200 countries, the Musical Instrument Museum in Phoenix focuses on instruments played every day by people around the globe. Each piece demonstrates how music is a universal language, one that won't be denied regardless of location or circumstance. From examining the inner workings of a Steinway grand piano to an African xylophone to a Japanese show mouth organ, it's amazing to see how music has been brought to life throughout the years. There's even an exhibit showcasing instruments made from recycled and discarded materials, including oil drums, kitchen utensils, water pipes, and X-rays. Number 4. The National World War II Museum, New Orleans. New Orleans' number 1 attraction, the National World War II Museum, takes an in-depth look at why World War II was fought, how the Allies won, and what that victory means for today through exhibits, personal accounts, and multimedia experiences spread out through 5 galleries. Visitors can see how the U.S. became involved in the war, explore key moments such as D-Day and the bombing of Pearl Harbor, and put themselves in the shoes of those who had to make difficult decisions during the war. You even can take a 4D journey through the war in Beyond All Boundaries, narrated by Tom Hanks. Number 3. National Museum of the American Indian, Washington, D.C. The National Museum of the American Indian contains one of the world's largest collections of Native artifacts, photographs, archives, and more documenting Native Americans in the entire Western Hemisphere. Featuring both ongoing and temporary exhibits, the museum documents the many ways American Indians are embedded in American history and culture by looking at individual tribes and notable figures in history. Current exhibits dive deep into treaties between the United States and American Indian nations and why Native Americans serve in the U.S. Armed Forces. Number 2. Mississippi Civil Rights Museum, Jackson, Mississippi. Shining a spotlight on the people and places of Mississippi that changed a nation, the Mississippi Civil Rights Museum in Jackson features 8 galleries filled with interactive exhibits that tell the stories of oppressed Black Mississippians and their fight for equality from 1945 to 1976. You'll hear the stories of Medgar Evers, Fannie Lou Hamer, and Vernon Dahmer, but you'll also hear about the many men, women, and children who also fought to be recognized as equals not only as Mississippians and Americans, but also as humans with the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Number 1. Tenement Museum, New York City. Located in New York, the Tenement Museum showcases the stories of the immigrants and migrants who came to America between the 1860s and the 1980s. See how they lived in the historically recreated tenement apartments as they pursued the American dream. Their determination, resiliency, and endless desire to carve out a better life not only reflects the depths of the human spirit, but also how America came to be the country it is today. No wonder Reuters named the Tenement Museum the world's 3rd best non-art museum, and the White House awarded it a National Medal for Museum Services. That's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. If you haven't already, then don't forget to subscribe and press that like button. Also, hit the bell icon so you could never miss new updates from us. Thank you for watching, and we will meet you in the next one.